Okay, what are the four desires that drive human behavior? Today is Thursday, February 11, 2021. And this week I introduced you to the subject of the desires that drive humans to act the way they do. You may have some problem with today's broadcast because it seems to be, the signal seems to be fading in and out. And so we're on for a minute, and then we're off for a minute. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, these four desires were laid out by Nobel Prize winner Bertrand Russell in his acceptance speech when he received the Nobel Prize in 1950 for literature. So the desires he listed were acquisitiveness, rivalry, vanity, and the love of power. So yesterday, we discussed the desire for power. Today, we're going to deal with the desire of vanity. Vanity. Where are you? Oh, vanity. There you are. Okay. Vanity defined as the excessive pride in one's appearance, qualities, abilities, achievements, character or quality of being vain, vanity. Now, one of the problems with vain people on them, then they are devastated and they're pissed. And because if they're not praised, they feel like they're being attacked. And they might retaliate with a viciousness that far exceeds the perceived offense. So that's vanity, excessive pride, vainness, conceit. So while we would all like to be recognized for our talents and for our contributions to the world, the spiritual warrior learns that our value is not founded on the approval of other people. It is founded within ourselves. And when that foundation of self-worth is discovered within, it becomes as unshakable as a concrete beam. Now, the first step is understanding that you are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence and that you have a right to be here. I was watching an interview yesterday with Dr. Mae Jemison. Dr. Mae Jemison. Dr. Jemison is an engineer, a scientist, a medical doctor, a professor, and an astronaut. She was the first black woman to orbit the Earth as a NASA astronaut. She graduated high school at the age of 16 and was accepted at Stanford University. Now, Dr. Jemison said that during her interview, she said that when she was a student at Stanford University, the science and engineering professors mostly ignored her, probably because she was so young. After all, she was only 16. She was also black, and she was a female. So when they did call on her to answer questions, they often ridiculed her answer. She says, but when they would call on the males in the class who gave the same answers, they were praised. Okay, we're back on the air. We were off the air for a while. For a few minutes, it was dead space. Nothing was happening. So I was just talking about Dr. Mae Jemison, who is an astronaut, a physician, an engineer, a professor, a scientist. She was the first black woman to orbit the Earth as a NASA astronaut. And as I said, I was watching an interview with her yesterday, and what she was telling us was that at the age of 16, when she was accepted to Stanford, uh, during her science and engineering classes, the professors usually ignored her. And they ignored her because, well, she was very young, plus she was a female and she was black. She said that when they did call on her to answer questions, they ridiculed her answers. But by the same token, when they would call on a male in the class who gave the same answer that she gave, then they were praised for their brilliance. So that was pretty discouraging for her and damaging. And the only thing that saved her was that she was also taking an African studies classes. And the teachers in African studies were impressed by her curiosity and by her intelligence, and so they encouraged her and gave her positive feedback. And as she thought more about it, she realized that she was okay, that it was the opinions of the professors in those classes that was not okay. So she decided that their opinions were of no value to her. It was only the knowledge they shared, as they were sharing with the other people in the class, that were a consequence. So she set up to absorb as much of that knowledge as possible and to prepare herself for the success that she believed was hers to claim. It was her internal love of self. It was her internal self-worth that sustained her. So even though she did not read the book, The Four Agreements, she learned that it was to her advantage not to take anything personally. Nothing. And so that's the advice to us as we move forward in life. Do not take anything personally. We hear story after story about celebrities who have resentments against each other, who refuse to work with each other because of some perceived slight or insult. And those resentments, those beefs can last for years, even all the way to their death. So no matter how much praise they've received, no matter how many awards they were showered with, their vanity, their self-worth was built on shifting sands. Much like the houses in the parable of Jesus in Matthew 7, where he says, like a foolish man who built his house on the sand, the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it fell, and great was its fall. So, while the desire of vanity drives us to seek glory and praise and awards, it's of little value unless it is supported by a deep love of self, a deep knowledge that you are enough. You are enough even without awards. You are enough even without adulation. You are enough because you are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. And that realization, that understanding, that knowledge can bring you an inner peace. It can make you strong. And your heart will radiate. Remember yesterday I was telling you, your heart radiates a magnetic field, an electromagnetic field 3 to 4 to 5 feet outside of your body. And so those around you will feel blessed because you have the self-love and the self-worth to expand your loving energy and to withstand the storms that life has to throw at you, like the man who builds his house on rock. Again, we're back to Matthew. And Jesus says, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on the house, and it did not fall, for it was founded on the rock. Your inner knowledge of who and what you really are is your rock. That is your rock. Your inner peace, because of who and what you really are, is what makes you a rock. It is that inner truth that gives you self-assurance. Vanity and self-assurance are two different states of mind. Vanity is based on fear and the need for outside validation. Self-assurance is based on the rock-solid foundation of knowledge that you are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. Remember that set of affirmations I gave you of peace and power when you were building your 4-point stance? Let's take a look at those again. I am an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. Infinite intelligence fills me and surrounds me, so my energy affects everything and everyone, everybody around me. As my peace grows stronger, all that is opposed to my peace will be changed or will be removed from my experience. Embrace your own self-worth. It will sustain you through good times and bad times. Oh, it's okay to embrace vanity. Yes, the awards, the triumphs, the glory, the adulation. Yes, you can embrace those. You can accept those. You need not reject them. For they're delightful. They please you. They lift you up. But remember, they are only the icing on the cake. Do not get addicted to them because they pass quickly. They pass quickly and they can be taken away without warning. But the lack of those things that feed the hunger of vanity does not diminish you, because they do not touch who and what you really are. They do not. Remember the words of Eleanor Roosevelt. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. You are a child of God. You are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. That is indisputable. That is unchangeable. That cannot be taken away from you. Let's close with prayer. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing us, all of us together in this life so we may become spiritual warriors and join in the work we have come here to do. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you for showing us who we really are. We open our minds and hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we are beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. As we become channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives more and more. We know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we learned to forgive ourselves for the pain that we have caused to ourselves, and as we learn to forgive those who have inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger, and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for this we are truly grateful. As above, so below. As within, so without. And so it is. Amen. Well, thank you for watching. This one has been somewhat of an ordeal to get through. Technology has not been in our favor today, but hey, that happens sometimes. So I'm glad that you were able to stick around and finish this one out with me. Please click on the thumbs up button below, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. As I've always repeated, I'd love to see your comments, questions, and thoughts. Some of you have been sending me in your comments and questions, and I really appreciate that. It gives me some pause for thought, gives me questions to answer, etc. So thank you for watching. This again is Thursday, February 11th, and so we'll be back again on Monday. In the meantime, I am Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this has been On the Wings of Your Mind.